there are things in life that are better together than alone. Like first, these are one wheels. I bought my first one wheel almost a year ago, and I was like, man, quickly, I was like, I can't have one wheel, because it was cool to ride around on a one wheel, but it's so much more fun to have two one wheels, because then you get to ride around. Like this is Holly, my wife's one wheel. It's called the Hotnesses one wheel. Like if you looked it up, that's what it is. I call Holly the Hotness because she's hot. Woo! Have you seen her with that red lipstick on today? Her lip be popping. Okay, anyways, I like red lipstick on her. It's good. It's beautiful. Okay, we have 8 children. But anyways, we like to ride around. She's trying to get better at it. She said it the other day because I went on a ride, and she's like, I got to get better at that one wheel. I was like, why don't you? She's like, I'm afraid of falling. I go, everybody falls. You just got to get back up. She's like, right. I don't want to get back. I don't want to fall to get back up. I'd like to avoid that. I was like, what? Get on the one wheel, woman. Anyways, so this is her one wheel. It's so much more fun. Zach, who is like the champion of one wheels and got me addicted to them, he knows it as well. There's something about riding one wheels together. You've come to my house, and even on Sundays, even last week, Ryan and I went on an 8-mile ride on one wheels in the dark. We were just talking about life. We took the church trailer back, and we were just zipping around. We got snowsuits on, and we're loving it. It was not a complaint about the weather because you were riding together on one wheels. It's so much more fun. You should try it. Get one wheel, and you'll soon learn that you need 2 one wheels. You know what else is much more fun? It is 2 people playing Nerf guns. The other night at our house, we do this like it's capture the flag, but we call it capture the diaper because there's so many diapers in our house. It's just like, why not use those? They're right there everywhere. Not a dirty one, folks, clean. And so we hide 2 diapers on different levels of the house, and then we have a blue team and a red team, and then it's capture the diaper, and you're shooting each other, and people are crying and laughing. It's just so much fun. And I'll show you, like, just sitting up here, like, me trying to shoot a target, that's okay, but like, let me bring up the hotness really quick. She's gonna come. She's got her own little blue gun here. I'm going to demonstrate really quick. Here's yours. We're both going to get 3 bullets because these hold like 100. So you get 3. 3. See, she really wants to shoot me. And I'll put in 3. Just make sure everybody's, because somebody will say I cheated. There's 3. Okay, my wife would. Okay. So, like, what we're going to do, just to demonstrate, we're going to stand back to back. We're going to count 3 steps, and then we're going to shoot each other. Not in the face. You got that?
I just shoot, baby.
I just shoot. Yeah, okay. Hold on. I got to come this way. This way. Don't fall off the stage. Okay. How many think I'm going to win? How many? Thank you. That was hesitation, folks. I should shoot you, right? No, okay. Okay, how many think Holly's going to win? I like an underdog story. It's cool. It's cool. Are you ready? 3, and then we turn and shoot.
How many? 3 steps?
3 steps. You ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry. Look at that. Yeah. Safety was on you. Oh, don't point it at your face. No. No, you shot all 3. Sorry. See how much fun that was? All of you rooting, thank you. Sore loser. We're talking about sore losers next. No, anyways. Okay, so it's so much more fun, right? If I had just shot at a target one, you wouldn't be laughing. You wouldn't be. It just changes when you do life together, and that's really what I want to talk about today. One of the biggest ways or greatest ways you can deal with your anxiety is to do the very opposite of what you feel. Because anxiety and depression makes you want to retreat into your mind. It makes you want to get alone and go, I'll figure this out. We as people are great at coming back to somebody and say, oh yeah, 6 weeks ago, man, I was in a dark spot. I was really struggling. Because we like those champion stories. Like, I fought through it on my own, and here I am after 6 weeks. And that friend or whoever you're sharing is like, what? You didn't tell me? Like, it honestly hurts, the relationship, when you go, 6 weeks ago, I sorted it out on my own, I was in a dark spot, and you didn't tell me? Like, why? Well, and I hear it a lot. Well, you got a lot on your plate. You have 8 kids, and just begin to process. No, the truth is that anxiety and depression make us retreat into ourselves. And the problem is we retreat deeper into ourselves. We begin to catch more of the bad thoughts than the good thoughts. Because when we do life with people, oftentimes those that are closest to us can go, hey, that is not a reality thought. That's not realistic. And they can speak into it, as the video said right before here, as iron sharpens iron, so does one to another. You watch it there, man. When metal is being sharpened, there's sparks flying, there's a lot of pounding. It doesn't always look the best at the beginning, but at the end, it's exactly what it was supposed to be. The authors in the Bible talk about that relationships are meant to make each other better, sharpen each other. It sounds really cool to write that down on a meme or to write it as a post somewhere, iron sharpens iron. Yeah, but when you're in a relationship that it really sharpens you, it's not always the most fun. Sometimes that person that's sharpening you comes and says, all right, get up. No more buts. Just get up. Let's go. And then the deal would be, well, that's not what I want to do. I don't feel like doing that. You don't understand where I'm coming from. When iron is sharpening iron, the one is not going, oh, yeah, so you were just coming out of the fire. I shouldn't bang on you right now. No, in order to sharpen the iron, oh, you just came out of the fire is the right time to bang on you a little bit. Now, I'm not giving permission for people to be jerks and mean and no compassion and no love. That would be the very opposite of what Jesus has taught us, right? Jesus teaches us, what does love require us to do? Jesus, answering that question as Jesus would answer, what does love require us to do, means that when somebody's in a tight spot, we're in it with them. Or we jump in. And it would mean, what does love require us to do for ourselves? That when we're in a tight spot, we tell people, I'm in a tight spot. Now, I was in a tight spot 3 weeks ago, but now I'm not. See, life is better together, but often it's harder to do life together. Especially in Western culture. Western culture raises us to think, man, it's all about you as an individual. That it's just about your needs, your dreams, and whatever it takes to get you there, do it. That's what we are raised to think. But Jesus comes in and says, hold on. It's not that way. It's about other people. And so as growing up, you have these two cultures that we are, especially as you become a follower of Jesus, you're trying to go, oh, but Western culture says this and Jesus says this. And all of a sudden what we try to do is make some hybrid of like, okay, Jesus into culture and I want this and this. And Jesus is like, no, you don't get it. It's not this and this. It's just me. Just me. Now, I like one wheels, so I'm not saying that you can't have one wheels and Nerf guns. That's not what I'm saying. It's this that I am satisfied by Jesus and not the one wheels, though it is a lot of fun to ride and go to lunch with people and ride one wheel. I love all of those things. And to shoot Nerf guns at my wife is a lot of fun in a healthy way, though we do solve some ways through like it's time to get the guns out. And when I say that, I mean these guns really and not the, anyways. Okay. But doing life together is where we're supposed to do it. Yeah, it's not the easiest. And so today my hope is that I can convince you to grab a hold of a Jesus principle, and not a Scott's principle, but a Jesus principle, that life is more fun together. The author of Ecclesiastes is King David's son, King Solomon, wisest man to ever live. The authors in the Bible talk about him being the wisest. I'm not just giving him that title. When I've read through the Bible, wisdom. He contains a lot of wisdom. And so King Solomon authors a book called Ecclesiastes chapter 4 in verse 9. Here's what he writes. This is a lot of wisdom. If you've grown up in church, you've heard this before. You might have heard this at weddings before. But this is like an all-skate. This isn't just for marriage. And it really is fun to have it inside marriage because it's really cool. But this is people stuff. This is people in general. Here's what King Solomon writes. 2 are better than 1. Because they have a good return for their labor. Now, we read that and go, yeah, of course, if I have 2 people working on a job, it's going to be quicker. We can make more money. But it's not just labor and financial gain. That's Western culture. Labor could be anything you're doing. One-wheeling, shooting Nerf guns, going hunting, going fishing, going to Tupperware parties? Is that the thing? No, I don't know. My mom would be proud of me that I know what Tupperware is. But, it's not going to those things on your own or obligation. It's because, man, a good return. It's going through the fire together. When people share the things they're going through, man, my kids are sick and we had to go to the ER. It doesn't mean I go take my kids to the ER, so we're in it together. No, it means that I am hooked emotionally to it, going, okay, man, I'm going to pray like it's my own child. I'm going to think about it as if it was me when I find out you're going through something. I think about what would I want? What are the needs that I would have? And we try to, as a church, go, how can we help see needs and meet needs for people that are going through stuff? And so it's not just a good return on the labor, it's good return on the things that we are doing. If you're doing what you do alone, you're doing it wrong. Now, I run alone. Okay, it doesn't mean I'm doing running alone. But there are times that I will go. We did the Ragnar race this past, at the end of the summer. It's so much fun. I don't know how many of us were there, like 12, 14. There's people. We were all sweaty, piling into the car, sharing stories and sweating. And I ran on my own so I could run with people. It wasn't just about me just doing my own thing. It was like, okay, yeah, there are times in your life that you got to do things by yourself. This isn't, if you're doing things but if you were constantly doing what you love by yourself and it has no value to other people, you might have got to make a shift. Because when you get around other people, it's not just about, I'm not getting anything out of it. Sometimes it's not about what you're getting out of it. Sometimes it's what you're putting into it. It's what you're going to do for the other person. Oftentimes, I think what we value here at Unlock Church is that hangout time. Like when people are hanging out in the lobby before and afterwards and talking, it doesn't break my heart at all. Because I want people to connect. I want people to do life on life. I want it to move past the lobby. I want people to know what people are going through. Not because an email said so, but because we're connected. That we're doing life together. Because when we do life together, we can share the struggles and we can help pray and we can help mobilize people for a cause. And remember, we ask this question all the time because I don't want you to go, okay, so if I run all the time by myself, am I doing it wrong? No, I'm not trying to create that. I need you to be a wise person and go, what is Jesus saying to me on this topic? Not, Scott addressed running or hunting or fishing or going to Tupperware parties or jewelry parties or earring parties. I don't know what parties you girls go to, but you go to things like that. Hair product parties. It's the thing, right? Yeah, I think it is. Anyways, it's not about me telling you those are wrong. It's about you taking the information today and putting it through what you do as, okay, Jesus, what are you saying in this area in my life? Because if it's all about you and no other people are coming into that area in your life, I would suggest you need to make an adjustment in your life, in that area in your life. Because when you're in a dark spot, you will have done an investment in a relationship that when you're in a dark spot, you come to and go, I am terrified right now. I don't know how I'm going to get through this. And because you invested and poured into a relationship, that person might be the very thing that helps you get through it. They might have read a verse in the Bible that says, this is what helped me. This is what I did when I was in your spot. But if you're not investing in other people's relationships right now, when you get into a dark spot, what are you going to do? You're going to naturally retreat on your own, and you're not going to have people around you to come and go, hey, what's going on? I notice you're pulling back, you're withdrawing. The author of Ecclesiastes, King Solomon, he continues, if either of them fall down, one can help the other one up. That's what I just said, right? But pity on anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. What I just said was breaking that down before I read it to you. The wisest man is trying to teach us, do life with people. Also, if two lie down together, they will keep each other warm. Full disclosure, really quick on that, two people lying down. This is not a Holly Scott talk. This will be my best friend and I. We were doing camp, and we were camping outside. We had this great idea for summer camp where we wanted people to understand the prodigal son story. And let me give you the really quick version of that story. It's two sons that were in a king's palace. They had life good. One of the sons said, hey, it's good here, but I want my inheritance. Dad, I wish you were dead, so I got all my money that you would give me. Can I have that before you die? And the dad was like, sure, here it is. Jesus was telling this story. It's a made-up story. It's a parable to illustrate two things. And I are in these stories in the kingdom of heaven, okay? So as you hear the story, where are you falling in it and where is God in it? And so the dad says, here you go. And the son took all the money and ran into city life and did life crazy. Like you read it, he partied it up, okay? He did life like you would watch on social media of celebrities doing. You would go, whoa, that's craziness. Much like you might say of Kanye West. The way Kanye West lived his life was pretty absurd. I mean, how many, just to show of hands, know who Kanye West is, okay? I'm not going to judge you, okay? We played his album today in the hallway as you walk down, so does that change anybody else? How many know who Kanye West is? A few more hands go up now. So Kanye West formerly was this guy that you're just like, oh my gosh, what's the deal with this guy? And over the last year, Kanye West he's the perfect prodigal son story. Walked away from God, lived crazy, and now has come back to be a follower of Jesus. He came back. Much like Jesus told the prodigal son story where the son took everything, went out, lived ridiculously, and then his life fell to the bottom so bad that he ate where the pigs would eat. And then he's like, I know that I could go home and my dad would give me something better than the pig slop that I'm eating, so he goes home. And Kanye West, in the last year, found Jesus. He's come home. I am not here to judge Kanye West. I know his past. We all know Kanye West's past. I mean, if you watched anything on MTV, VH1, or any news outlet, they tell you all of his failures. That's for sure. And then he releases last Friday this album, Jesus is King. And it's good. Like, I'm not into his style, but man, he is dropping truth about who Jesus is, his past life, and what Jesus has done. It's tremendous. But if I can jump on a soapbox really quick, if you're following that story at all, there are heaps of Christians out there that are bashing Kanye West. Just driving him into the ground. There are memes. If you don't know what memes are, it's pretty much just a picture with like some clever saying on top of it. That's called memes. And so there's memes about Kanye West that really, it's sad. Kanye West, worst thing for Jesus. But aren't we as followers of Jesus to celebrate somebody that was once lost is now found? Somebody that was blind can now see? Isn't that the point? And so I will celebrate a Kanye West. I'm not looking for him to fail again. I know he will because I do. I wake up every day. Jesus, what if I stumble? What if I fall today? May I get back up today? May I keep myself from failing? But God, when I do, may I come back to you. Kanye West will mess up, and there will be a lot of pictures out there to support it, and a bunch of people jump on and say, I told you it wasn't real. We are not the judge and jury on people. And I'm leveraging something that's happening mainstream. That heavens are celebrating not just Kanye West, but those that are here at Unlock Church that found Jesus, those that have come to unlock the parties and unlock summer camp, those kids that gave their life to Jesus. It's the same deal. He's throwing a party for them because they were once lost and they're now found. We're not running around going, I bet you that kid when he's 16 years old get just really messed up. And no, what do? We just say, God, keep them from trouble. You know what? Since I found out about Kanye West, that's what I've been praying. Because it's the prodigal son story. We have this son that lived crazy, came back to the father and says, I am so sorry. I wished you were dead, Dad. I took your money. Will you just give me a job working with the animals? And the dad goes, no. We're going to throw a big party for you. We're going to put the ring back on your finger. You're mine again. You are my son. I will celebrate you. Let's throw a party for you. You came home. You were once lost, and now you are found. We will celebrate that all day long. And the crazy bit in the story is the son that never left got really mad at the dad and go, Dad, how could you do that? I never left. I never left. You're not throwing a party for me. You're throwing a party for a guy that squandered everything. There are a bunch of Christians out there that are bashing Kanye West because of his past. How many of us would like our past to be aired on TV or social media or those things? None of us. Not one of us would like that. Can we, and I don't think here at Unlock Church we would, I think we get that. But may we be, when we see the memes coming through and we see people, may we, like my heart broke this week when I saw those things coming out because I'm like, man, I'm praying for your family members that you've shared. I mean, I want them to find Jesus. I'm praying that they find Jesus. And when they do, I'm not going to sit there going, oh, just wait, give them 3 months, and they're really going to jack this thing up. It's going to be the worst thing for Jesus ever. No, celebrating, throw a party. Can we move into that throwing a party, celebrating people? When somebody overcomes their anxiety, should we not throw a party that, man, Jesus is still doing great things, that miracles are still happening? Can we get excited about it? Okay, but that was a soapbox thing. Back to the camp story. We wanted to make that prodigal story come alive for about 500 students. And so we're like, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to all have them come to this really nice place that we're going to live for a week. They're going to get all their clothes out, packed in their dorms and stuff. And then what we're going to tell them is they need to get 3 days worth of clothes with them. And then we're going to throw them in a bus, and we're going to take them out in the middle of nowhere. We're going to drop them off with canoes. And their first games is to race down the river in their canoe and get to a campsite and get their tent built. First one's done building their tent will earn the points, right? It was all about points. And so they hop in. A lot of funny stuff happened in the river. They get down there, and we start camping out for 3 days. Like, they're eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. We gave them, like, potatoes. Like, here you go, put it in aluminum foil and let her cook in the fire. It was like 500 kids, bunch of tents running around right on the edge of a river. Jay and I, my brother-in-law, we didn't necessarily pack too many clothes. Like, we just were board shorts and T-shirts because we're like, we're going to be by a river all the time. It's going to be hot. It got cold. And just going to tell you that when we were in our tent, it was a little cold. And I was like, Jay, are you cold? He's like, yeah, I'm freezing. I'm like, my teeth are chattering, Jay. Jay, I once read this thing in Ecclesiastes. Follow me here, Jay. I read it once. It's true that when there are two and they lie close to each other, it makes them warm. Will you be my blanket, Jay? He's like, I thought you'd never ask, God. And we spooned. Okay, it's a true thing. I feel much better about getting that off I just feel good about that. I don't know how Jay will feel about that, but it's out there. We were much warmer the next 2 nights. We never mentioned it until this moment, but it does illustrate a biblical point. 2 are better than 1. Again, it's here, all right? If 2 lie down together, they will keep warm, but how can 1 keep them warm alone? Though 1 may be overpowered, 2 can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not easily or quickly broken. That's the part of the 3 strands. That's where a lot of people use it in weddings. I've used it in weddings where it's the husband and wife and Jesus. But that's all skate for everybody. When we're in relationships with somebody else and it's a healthy relationship and Jesus is the center of it, it's a really strong relationship. You can get through a lot, but you've got to decide in those relationships when your friends pull back that you're going to be the friend that steps in. Or that you're pouring into relationships that when you withdraw, your friends step in. Let me ask this question to you. What kind of friend are you? Are you the kind of friend that when your friends step back, you go, that's too much work? They do this all the time. Or are you the friend that says, I don't care how many times they do, I'm going to step in. I'm going to step in and help them. I'm going to be that friend. I'm going to ask the question, what does it require me to do in that process? And I'm going to do it. You know what? A lot of times in relationship, there's a lot of tension. Pay attention to that tension. Because oftentimes that's where Jesus wants you to do something, not the other person to do something, because you're the one feeling the tension. When you feel the tension in relationships, ask Jesus, what should I do? And do the right thing. Do the wise thing. What's the wise thing to do inside this relationship? I was talking to a good friend last week, and he had just shared this thought with me, and it's so good. He just said, hey, I've learned this as I help people with anxiety, that you cannot be relaxed physically and anxious. You can't be relaxed and anxious at the same time. I was like, that's good. And some people were like, right, but when I'm anxious, I can't relax. Can you not, there's got to be ways for you to figure out how to relax, but that sometimes is the other friend's job. Let me create an environment where this person can relax. I know what they like to do, so I'm going to take them out. But see, it requires the other person to be truthful about themselves feeling anxious. And it's the job of the other friend to step in and go, I'm going to go help them. I'm going to point them in the right direction. And then if it gets to a spot where it's past your helping hands, then you point them in the right direction of like, hey, you got to call a counselor. I'm not telling you this because I really think you got to go see somebody. That's powerful. That's what a friend does. But it starts with a healthy relationship with both sides of the friendship, sharing the dark moments in their life and not coming, I went through this 6 weeks ago. When I was learning about you can't be relaxed and anxious at the same time, when Holly was always in the delivery room, we learned this on the first one pretty quick, is that as long as she stayed relaxed, things went really smooth. If she freaked out, I didn't go very smooth. Like, I was terrified. I don't think she's in here. Maybe she is. I was like, what's going to happen here? It was like, it was going to become like a Friends episode or something, like where somebody's screaming at somebody, but she would just get tense. And I remember after the first one, noticing her tell signs when she got tense. And so from after Legend on, there were things, like when she gets tense, her eyebrows crinkle and she makes this like mountain with her skin here. I don't know what you want to call that. A lot of you might do that, but it's like this frowny face deal. I remembered that, okay, that's a trigger that I know she's getting tense. Then I got to figure out how to get her to relax. And I told her before we went into the dinner, Holly, when I touch you right here and I start rubbing right there, I'm not going to tell you you're tense because I would not do that. But I'm trying to tell you got to relax, girl, or this is not going to be, it's going to be more painful. Just relax. Don't ever tell husbands or anybody that, don't ever tell your wife in the middle of, relax. It's not relaxing, okay? It actually does the opposite. But you got to have trigger points on how, and so I would just come and rub her little eyebrows right here, and she would relax. And things would be smoother. The contraction wouldn't hurt as much. It was more, but it took me to help her see when she was tensing, because she would afterwards go, I would never know that I was being tense. Sometimes there's a friend, your other friends that are struggling with anxiety and worry and fear and all, they're not realizing it. It's your job to figure out how to do it where they don't feel like you've shamed them, told them they're no good, and you're shouting in their face. That's not what love would require you to do. It would require you to go, okay, I got to figure out how to help them. And maybe it's you going in and asking somebody else, okay, I got this friend that's doing this, how can I help them? And then going back and helping them. Did you know this? Like, I love this piece. John 10:10, we quote it a lot here. It's Jesus' words wrote down by the author John, who did life with Jesus. He quotes Jesus saying this out loud, I have come that they may have life and have it to the fullest. I like that. It's so good. When somebody tells me Jesus is a dictator and he wants bad things for me and he just wants to take stuff from me, Jesus told you, I have come that you may have a life and have it to the fullest. Not Western culture fullness, a lot of cars, big house, boats, cabins, and all this craziness. No, that's not what it means. And this week I was just thinking about that again. Okay, that's what Jesus said. And then I don't know why I've never done this. I just did a little bit more study on it. And then I was like, okay, the word life. If you go back to the Greek, is zo or zoe, Z-O-E. That word, when translated, is divine life. I have come that you may have divine life and have it to the fullest. That there is the mind and the heart, and then there's this divine life that we're all trying to pursue, and we're pursuing in all different ways. But I've come that you would have a divine life and to the fullest. I would love it if you would go. There's a lot of homework for you to do today, but this is one of the things I'd love you to do. Go home and YouTube any new interviews with Kanye West. That guy is speaking so much truth right now. You can clearly tell that he's got someone in his life that's discipling him. Because when somebody is asking him questions about Jesus, he can tell them Jesus is the only way. That he died on a cross and rose from the dead for my sins. He will share that he talks about when he was 5 years old, he encountered pornography. His dad left a magazine on the floor, and at 5 years old or 6 years old, he saw it, and it set a trajectory in his life that we all saw play out in the public eye. He's like, I'm getting help for that. I didn't know that, and now that I found Jesus, I'm really working through all that stuff. And you begin to hear the story, and he sees it, man, God had to take me down to the bottom because it was all about me. I had to struggle with mental health and get into the hospital, and it was because God needed me to be broken. I was just watching the interview. Any late night show host guy talking about or interviewing, he's just talking about who Jesus is. One of the interviews I watched of Kanye West the other day had close to 2 million or over 2 million views. And when you watch it, he tells people how to find Jesus. His platform is bigger than mine. And I pray that he's continually around men and women that will continue to point him in the right direction. Because there will be heaps of people that because of him being so bold of he was once lost but now is found, there will be heaps more people that will follow suit because they're like, oh my gosh, I know who Kanye West is. I know his past. And they'll use it as, my past isn't as bad as his. If God can forgive him of that, he can forgive me of mine. And they'll find Jesus of it. But here's Kanye West, who has a divine life all of a sudden. And he's trying to figure out how to live it to the fullest. And he shares, it's not about the money anymore. Divine life. Everyone is born, I wrote it this way when I was thinking about this divine life. Every person is born with a physical body and a mind or a will, but the divine life only comes from God, and Jesus promises it to us collectively, not individually. I have come that every people might have a divine life. So I've said, as we wrap this up, I've said repeatedly, man, we got to do life together. I do think in church culture, that word and phrase is used up a ton. Yeah, do life together. It sounds good, especially when you talk about small groups. Oh, come on Thursday. Woo, we're doing life together. No, that's us setting up the catapult for you to go launching out of Sundays in small groups and do life with people. I've asked this question countless times. Who's sitting at your table? Who are you weekly inviting into your home to eat dinner with you? Who are you going out to dinner with weekly? Who are you doing life with? Doing life with is not just coming on Sundays. This is the catalyst to it. It's going out from here and going, who am I doing life with? And if you, in your mind, go, I'm just too busy. Get unbusy. Because you got it wrong. It's about people. And I'm not trying to smash toes, and I'm not trying to get up in your business, but I'm trying to tell you that, man, we are to be doing life with people. And it doesn't just have to be people at church. People, our neighbors, doing life with people. We talk about partnering with people to unlock their God-given greatness. Doing life, partnering with people, getting inside people's life. That is very different what Western culture says. Western culture, since the invention of the air conditioning, has gone to where it's just my house, my life, stay out of it. When you track history, before the air conditioning unit became a thing in homes, people sat on the front porches most of the time for their houses to cool down, and you watched your kids play with your neighbors. You waved as people walked and stopped and talked. But the air conditioning, you don't do that anymore. Just close the windows, and you get inside. And then all of a sudden, the invention of the garage came, a house for your car. And so you drove into your garage, and then you would walk to your house, and you might wave to your neighbor, hey, how are you doing? And then you would go into your house, and that was it. Now, the invention of the garage attached to your house 2 decades ago. Now it's, I come put my car to sleep, I go inside my house, I never see my neighbors at all. I don't know how anybody's doing, and I'm doing life all about me, and it's working. Actually, it's sabotaging doing life with each other. I hear about a cul-de-sac in Roseville that is trying to get this done quite well, where they're doing life together. Their kids are out building ramps in the street, and the neighbors, when they're suffering, the neighborhood comes together and goes, how do we help? How do we make it easier? How do we watch your kids so you can take your kids here? When I watch that cul-de-sac do life and engage, not all of them go to the same churches. It's about just doing life with people. And in that, people are finding Jesus in the process. Because that's the way it is meant to be, is life on life. So I've gotten a chance to travel into some of the third world countries, a lot into Peru in the middle of the jungle. And as we were on missions trips, we would always try to teach the locals some kind of American game. And somehow or another, a croquet game came along. You just take everything when you go. You just give it all away, right? So it was like we're doing croquet on the edge of the Amazon River, and we're teaching kids in the tribe how to do this game. And they're all playing it. They're loving it, hitting the ball as hard as they can to get through those, I don't know, those metal hanger-looking things that are like a U shape. Does anyone know what they're called? What? Sure. Like the Ewok? Like Wicket, like the Ewok? Okay, all right, it is like, okay. Anyways, you got those things in the ground and you're hitting it through, and then we try to teach them. One of the most fun things I love to do is that when you get close to somebody, right, you put your foot on the ball and you whack it and whack the other person's ball out so they can't win, right? How many love that part of the game? Okay, thank you. I love that. And so we go to teach them to do this, and you got a translator in Spanish saying, okay, now you take and you crack it with the mallet, and it's so much fun. It goes off course. And they looked at us like we were crazy. And somebody asked back through the translator, now why would I want to do that? Why would I want to hit their ball out of there? They just could not comprehend it. I was like, because you could win. And they're like, don't I want everybody to, they're asking, don't I want everybody to win? I'm like, I felt Jesus working on my heart. It's like, well, yes, but no, it's a game. You must win. I was like, how do you teach that? And it's like, okay. And they're like, they just couldn't get it. They couldn't get it because they're a tribe. And a tribe moves around as successful as the tribe is, so everyone else is. As if the tribe loses, they win and lose together as a tribe, not an individual. And I think when we talk about doing life on life or doing life together, man, in Western culture, it's really hard because it's not about a tribe. It's about, I want to win. I want the promotion. I want the bigger house. But when you look at tribal life, it's about how do we succeed as a tribe? How do we move together? And could you imagine if we started something where we really changed our lifestyle in this group of people here, that we started saying, I'm going to make myself less busy so I have time to invite people to my table. And it's not about how clean your house is and what you're going to serve. It's about doing life with people. And you know what? I love having people in my house because they get to see the real me. You get the real version of me. Those that come, you see that the same guy up here is the same guy there. It's the same. I get to learn about you. It's more relaxing. So here's the takeaway, perhaps. That we wouldn't be the Western culture guys saying, no, crack the mallet and just so you win. Maybe we'd be like the guys and the women in the tribe going, well, we all want to win. Can we correct the time, and we correct the time in our schedule to be able to do life with people so when they pull back, we can step in, especially as a follower of Jesus. Paul writes, an author in the Paul, he writes, just to sum it all up, he goes, in Ephesians chapter 4, he's writing to a group of people. He goes, make every effort. Make every effort. And then say, try it out. Make every effort to keep yourself united in spirit. United is like together. On the same mission, the same goal. Binding yourselves together with peace. Make every effort. This week, the take home on this is it's your effort. It's on you. And you might be like, I'm the one that's hurting right now. I promise you this, as you start to do life better with people, someone will step in and be able to help you. Maybe your piece this week is to just raise your hand to some close friends or your wife or somebody, say, I am struggling with a mental illness. I've been trying to hide it and deal with I'm telling you, I'm sure. I hope that you have friends around you to step in and help you. But maybe you're the one that has to step in and you have to go, I need to be that friend. 9/11 and World War II share one thing in common. There might be heaps more, but for my point, it shares this in common, I should say. World War II and 9/11 when World Trade Center was attacked. I'm sure it happened in other time periods, but studiers followed these since World War II, was that the amount of anxiety and depression plummeted during those times, especially in London in World War II where they're getting bombed and you would think, oh my gosh, the anxiety would be so high. But because the group of people in London came together, anxiety was like non-existent. They all had one sole purpose, and that was to survive. They weren't struggling with anxiety. They had a mission they were on. 9/11, if you were old enough to remember, man, the United States was united. It was one common cause that we will rise up, we will not be defeated. Even the anxiety medicines and depression medicines dropped the amount people were on because all of a sudden we rose up as a group together. That's what I want to see again, is that we start a movement in the Twin Cities where we rise up together. that we might become a group of people that want to invest in people's lives, that help them in their messes and point them to Jesus. And when they find Jesus, we're going to celebrate like Jesus celebrated the prodigal son, that we will not become the other brother who got upset. We're going to go, that's what it's about. And that if we are struggling with something in our lives, we're going to raise our hand and say, I need some help. And may we be a group of people that come in and go, I want to be there for you. I think we're there. I think this is not a slap on our hand saying we're not that church. I think we're that church. But may this be a reminder to keep going after it more. And may we take this home and go, who am I doing life with? Who am I inviting today? Maybe your homework is as you stand in the lobby to get, hey, why don't you come to lunch this week or dinner this week? We'll clear up some time. That's it. Begin to invite people into your life. There's so much more I want to say, but I'm going to wrap it up there. I mean, this is the way God designed it. This is it. God designed it for us to be together, not separate. God's words. He created in Genesis, if you want to read it, you should read it. God's words are, he created the heavens, the earth, and he's like, that was good. And he created light and darkness, and he said, that was good. And he created the animals, and he said, that was good. And then he created man in his image. He never said it was good. Out of all the other things he created, he never, after the minute he created it, he said all the other things is good. But when it came to man, it was man alone. He didn't say this is good. He says, it is not good for man to be alone. I will make him a helper. It's not good for you to be alone. You are not designed to be alone. We are designed to be together.